For lecture 4, I'm going to give you some drills to help develop the sprint mechanics in your athletes, as well as teach them the movements of applying force back to the track. Now, while your athletes are executing these drills, you want to make sure that you're looking for those components that they need to be great sprinters, which are making sure that their hips are forward, that their head is sea level, that they're getting full range of motion in their arms as well as their legs, and that their foot is dorsiflexed the entire time. Some of the drills that I'm going to be covering in this lecture: skipping A, skipping B, ankling, cycling, quick leg, alternating quick leg, straight leg bound, bent leg bound, and bench runs. I will explain each drill thoroughly as we go through this lecture. The first drill is skipping A. So if you look at the drill, you'll see that the athlete's going to step over their knee, foot dorsiflex, making sure that they're getting all of the rotation in their arms, and they're going to use their arms to drive their foot back underneath their hips. For the skipping B, it's the same idea of the skipping A. The only difference is there's a little more extension toward the bottom of the cycle before you pull the toe back to the track. You're still getting the same range of motion in your arms and your legs. It is just a little longer with the B skip. While doing this drill, make sure that your athletes are getting their foot back underneath their hips as opposed to landing out in front of them, because that's actually going to slow them down in the long run. You want them to get used to applying force to the track by getting that dorsiflex foot back underneath their hips. The third drill is called ankling. Now, ankling teaches your athlete how to step over their ankle, cycle their leg, and then get their foot right back under their hips. And the steps actually simulate what the foot does or what the leg does during the acceleration phase of a race. Ankling is also a great drill for those athletes that you have that have naturally long strides. This drill actually helps them to turn over their legs and teaches them how to get their legs back to the track. The next drill is cycling. Now, cycling is a little like ankling. The only difference is now you're stepping over your knee, which symbolizes what takes place during the maximum velocity phase of a sprint race. So you really want to focus on the arms separating from the body, the knee stepping over, cycling, and then the foot getting back underneath the body so that the force is being applied to the track, which will push you forward. Isolated quick leg, what you're doing here is you're isolating one leg to simulate the movement of running at maximum velocity. So you're going to step over your knee, cycle that leg, and then get the foot directly underneath your body. You're still swinging your arms, getting the full range of motion in your arms and your legs. Then you're going to switch sides and do the same thing on the opposite side. For alternating quick leg, you're doing the same thing as the isolated quick leg, but you're switching after a certain amount of steps. So you step over one leg with the opposite foot, then you come back and step over the other. Same thing, make sure that you're getting full rotation in your arms, in your legs, and that foot is driving back to the track to produce as much force as possible. When this drill is done correctly, it's going to feel like you're propelling yourself forward because of the force that you're putting into the track. For the straight leg bound, you're going to keep your leg as straight as possible, toe is still dorsiflexed, but the emphasis in this drill is to make sure that your athlete is really getting separation from their body and sweeping those arms back and forth so that they can apply as much pressure back to the track as possible. Bent leg bound is similar to straight leg bound, The only difference is there's a bend in your knee to simulate the running motion that you have when you're in top speed. And the key is to sweep your arms, get the full rotation of your legs, and drive that foot back to the track underneath your hips. The final drill is called bench runs. So what you're gonna do with this drill is you're gonna have your kids line up either in the bleachers or near a bench, and you're gonna have them go through the motion of really swinging their arms all the way forward, all the way back, popping the knee forward, keeping the toe dorsiflexed, and they're simply going to tap the bench with their foot, and that's going to be completed for a certain amount of seconds. So in conclusion, the more these drills are drilled into your athlete's head, the more they will start to manifest themselves in their running. So you'll start to see more arm swinging, more knee lifting, better dorsiflex foot if you incorporate these drills into daily sessions. You will also see the most important factor, which is them starting to apply more force into the track, which is going to make them run a lot faster. In the fifth lecture, I'm going to discuss the first part of every sprint race, and that is acceleration. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and then in the following lecture, I'm going to give you a few drills that can be used in order to better your athlete's acceleration. Stay tuned.